Joe Hogan cannot joke. I'm not joking, guys, but this guy literally cannot joke. I want to be a soccer player, the greatest of all time, but I am old and never had an athletic prowess, especially when it comes to soccer. And I also imagine this. Let's say I had a lot of money, owned many elite football clubs, and also had a huge influence. Would I become a footballer? Even if I can't play, just because of the influence and money I got, would it be possible? I know the scope of the most popular sport in the world is too big to apprehend, but one thing is true: influence and money can get you far, and Joe Hogan is the best example. And luck, let's not forget about the luck. You might be confused and ask, what is this weirdo talking about? And you might be right. Sports or other athletic competitions are truly difficult to manipulate. You either have the athleticism or you don't. No amount of steroids or training can help when it comes to many types of sports, but the artistic part of entertainment is easily malleable. How many times have we seen someone's son or daughter become an actor, singer, or some kind of performer? For God's sake, there are rumors that Harvey Weinstein had a special casting couch, to determine if you're good enough or not. There are even rumors that WWE's Vince McMahon had the same type of couch. But Joe Hogan's case is different. I hope he's not doing the same to the comedians that he used to do with his stool. Can you imagine a bold, steroid freak humping comedians and saying, okay, are you ready to become a new star? Oh, hell no. Joe is more like, guys, my father has a new Mercedes. Would you like to sit in it? Or maybe the only kid who has a ball, and we'll let him play with us type of dude. Joe is one of the luckiest MFers in the world. How far can you go with enthusiasm? Pretty far if you ask Joe Hogan. I'm not saying he's nothing and has no talent whatsoever, but his enthusiasm and luck go really far if you ask me. He was a part of a pretty famous sitcom called News Radio with little to no acting. Then there was Fear Factor. The show where contestants did nasty stuff for little money, especially eating animals' ding-dongs and drinking their prime drinks. But two things really made Joe Hogan Joe Hogan: UFC and JRE. Let's talk about Joe Hogan's commentator role in the UFC. It all started in 1997. According to Joe Hogan, his first 15 gigs in the UFC were done for free, which is truly commendable. Basically, he believed in what the UFC would eventually become. He is genuinely passionate about martial arts in general. You can say whatever you want about how good he is in commentary, but one thing is for sure: he is a true pioneer and the voice of the UFC, although lately he only does UFC gigs held on US soil. His luckiest endeavor is undoubtedly the Joe Hogan Experience, or JRE. The podcast started as a way to chat with friends, open up about silly theories, and even explore conspiracies. Joe Hogan is a true pioneer in this genre. While podcasts were never a big thing or considered something special, Joe Hogan's small steps made podcasting cool and sparked a new trend among people. Now, it seems like any Joe Schmo has a podcast. Although many podcasts are subpar, JRE remains one of the most lucrative and probably one of the oldest and most popular shows out there. His podcast is now even bigger than most TV broadcasts, especially when it comes to the number of views. More people watch his podcast than broadcast news, which is worrisome for big channels. That is why controversies always follow him. It seems like there are people who watch his every step, and they are specifically hired for that purpose. Controversies include the N-word use controversy, and the pandemic controversy related to horse dewormer, among others. Now he's a target. The GRE podcast is no longer just a casual, let's chill and talk kind of show. There are more eyes, more attention, and stronger reactions to what he says and does. But there is a other side of the coin when it comes to JRE. Now it is fashionable to be a guest of his. If you are invited to his show several times, you will become a recognizable person. Especially for comedians, JRE is the best platform to attract many eyes. Hari Shafir, Tom Segura, Shane Gillis, Joey Diaz, and Theo Vom, among others, became popular due to exposure through Joe Rogan's experience. Heck, even fucking retard can become popular if you get close to Joe Rogan. Homeless Cass Lover can be the best example, but not only comedians reap the benefits from Joe Rogan. Jesus' best lover and Zionist sympathizer Jordan Peterson, a pseudoscientist, and someone who discovers that the pyramids were built 1 billion years ago, Graham Hancock. I know that every conspiracy I made up is true, Alex Jones, and other crazy characters are frequent and beloved guests of Joe Rogan and his companion, a 50 years old young Jamie. Joe, hey Joe, right here Joe. You don't need to be a comedian yourself to be great and to be a sugar daddy for other comedians. You just need to be yourself, a giant, short ape who loves comedy but cannot intentionally make people laugh. The best joke you've ever made is Brendan Schwab, who is even more talentless than you, and yet is rich and famous. You don't need to write jokes yourself and steal the jokes from Brendan, for God's sake. Just hire a team and let them do the job for you. Then you can hump your stool as much as you want. Spotify paid you $200 million last time, and who knows how much this time. You've opened your own comedy club, which is one of the best clubs in the world. You're living your dream, my man. Enjoy it, embrace it, and most importantly, don't try too hard to be funny. As long as your podcast is successful, and as long as you're rich and famous, and as long as you have the best comedy club out there, all these comedians will be in the palm of your giant hand. So, no worries, Joe. Just live your life and preach to everyone how they should live theirs.